Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about XC mountain bike racing, which in my opinion has never looked better. We've just had the opening round of the Mountain Bike World Cup series, and Tom Pidcock won both the main race and the short track event, and even crashed on his way to victory as well. And it was a race that's full of drama and excitement, and a good debut, it has to be said, for Pinarello's brand new Dogma that Tom was riding. And we've also got new bikes from Cervelo and Specialized to talk about in this video too. And it does feel like mountain bike XC racing is getting exciting again. It's not always, in my opinion, the best to watch or brought in enough viewers, but I think now that is all changing. We've got amazing courses, the racing is fast, hard, and with top road racers like Tom Pidcock and Mathieu van der Poel giving out road events for mountain biking, I think the sport can only get better and better. And as somebody whose heart is in mountain biking as much as I love road and gravel, this is great news. There are quite a few reasons why I think XC mountain bike is in a really good and healthy place right now. For a start, the courses have been getting better and better over the years. Much more demanding, pushing riders to have great handling skills as well as supreme fitness, and a better showcase, it has to be said, for the sport. Seeing riders deal with massive rock drops and sketchy descents is exciting and fun to watch. And those short courses give us racing that is fast and frantic from the start. There's no being cagey and waiting, it's racing flat out the whole time. And that is a big difference to watching any road race where a stage in a Tour de France or a single day race is 6 hours of riding with lots of, it has to be said, fairly boring action before the kind of finale of that race where the best riders come to the top and battle it out for the finish line. But in mountain biking, it's flat out, it's fast, exciting and full of drama, and the risk to reward ratio makes for a really exciting combination. Those short courses also make it easier to film, and the coverage has been getting so much better over the last few years. And last weekend was a good showcase for how well they are covering the race. I still think there's room for improvement. I love to see cameras on the bikes for a rider's point of view, just like we have in F1 and MotoGP. Sometimes the tracking cameras miss some of the drama and overtakes, but they are really improving over what we had 10, 20 years ago. So the racing is getting better and better, and the bikes are also getting better. And this last few weeks, we've had a flurry of new bikes, and we'll probably have more ahead of the Olympics next year in 2024. And Pidcock was riding a brand new bike, a Pinarello Dogma XC, which officially launched over the weekend. Yeah, Dogma XC, not the most imaginative title, is it? Not sure really why they're using the road bike model name for their mountain bike, other than trying to leverage some of that appeal and the kudos of that road model, which is so successful, of course, onto the mountain bike range. And to draw some sort of connection or parallel between their top flight road race bike and a top flight mountain bike. That can be my only sort of guess around why I'm using that name, but let me know what you think down below. This is the company's first mountain bike in 11 years. Yes, they have done mountain bikes in the past, but they've never been much cop. And you have to wait until March 2024 before this new one is available, which is quite a lengthy wait from launch event to actually being available to buy. Viewers might know as well that Pidcock had been riding an unbranded BMC for the last few years, but his success on the mountain bike circuit has clearly prompted Pinarello to design him a brand new bike. So naturally, it's a full carbon fiber bike, and like many XC race bikes right now, use a single pivot suspension design with flex carbon stays and a rocker linkage driving a shock under the top tube. Very normal so far. Travel is up to 100mm out back, matched to either 100 or 124 up front. Now 100 is surprisingly short because many bikes like the Scott Spark go up to 120 for the more demanding and technical courses we are seeing on the World Cup circuit. Being a Pinarello, of course, there are some unique details on the bike. The most interesting one is the main pivot has a toothed axle that stops the rear stays from flexing your belt and does away with the chainstay bridge you normally have in the area to connect the two halves of the swing arm together and stop them doing weird things on their own. This also allows the chainstays to be shorter than other bikes, so it's up to 5 or 10 millimeters shorter than another comparison bike, and that should make for a bike that's very agile and responsive and turns very well. So quite a clever little detail hidden away at the bottom of the bike. Also a small cutout in the frame as well, it looks kind of cool. So it is quite a clever little design and definitely sets a bike apart in a category of bikes that are from a distance hard to tell apart. So yeah, fair play Pinarello. What I can't get my head around is how it looks. To my eyes, it's not the most prettiest bike, if I'm being really honest with you. Just doesn't quite work for me. Maybe different paint jobs would help, and I have to admit I've not seen it in the flesh either. So I do reserve judgment until I see it in the flesh, hopefully sometime before it launches next year. But let me know what you think down below. Now, Pinarello isn't the only road company to launch a mountain bike, because Cervelo have also launched a brand new full suspension mountain bike following the hardtail they launched last year. So another big roadie brand trying to get into mountain biking, which is great news for the sport to see the big brands come from the roadside into the mountain bike world. And I think we'll probably see more top level road cyclists like Mathieu van der Poel, Pete Sagan, Tom Pidcock also make the leap or dabble in mountain bike as well as their road racing calendar. So the snappily named ZFS-5 does at least look better than daft name sounds. I'm not sure what's going on with the name at all. Anyway, it's a really good looking bike to my eyes. Yellow looks good on any bike, and this bike does look really nice. Although it has to be said, it's a pretty conventional design. Most bike brands seem to have settled on a similar formula for short travel bikes these days. So a top tube mounted rear shock with space for 2 water bottles in the main frame, and a single pivot down by the bottom bracket with flexible carbon stays. Travel goes up to a healthy 120 millimeters on this bike, so way more than that Pinarello and about the same as a Scott Spark or a Specialized Epic Evo. And the geometry chart shows good looking numbers for the head angle and the reach, so progressive it definitely is. And another brand new bike launched in the last few weeks worth talking about is a brand new Specialized Epic World Cup. Total revamp, but strangely it developed a short travel bike with just 75 millimeters of travel out back. And rather than replacing its short travel full suspension bike, this new model actually replaces its Epic hardtail. So they have 2 short travel bikes in the range, no more hardtail, that's been dropped and replaced by this new bike with the rear shock inside the top tube, and then they have their Epic Evo with 120mm travel alongside it. So a choice of 2 short travel bikes, very bold move and very brave to get rid of the hardtail when hardtails are still very popular, and does seem a slightly crazy move in the same way when they ditched the Venge following the launch of the Tarmac SL7. So very ballsy by Specialized for sure. So this new hardtail replacing bike hides the rear shock inside the top tube, just like on the Trek Super Caliber, but it's not a photocopy, not exactly. What really sets a bike apart is the fact the special rear shock is designed to be set up with 0% sag, so it rides like a hardtail, or up to a maximum of 10% sag. That's much less than the usual 20, 25 or 30% sag you normally run on a full suspension mountain bike. So sag is when you set the suspension up, so when you sit on it, it sags into that first phase of travel, and you're talking about 10 or 15 millimeters depending on the shock stroke and the amount of travel on the bike. So bigger bikes, you have more sag. The idea with sag is when you're riding along the ground, the wheel can both sink into dips out of that sag and also move up over bumps as well. So you have suspension that can really track the ground really well, and that's the idea of sag. So running a bike with no sag is very, very unusual. I can't think of any other bikes designed like this. And that's designed to make it feel and respond and ride like a hardtail, but with the benefit occasionally of the rear suspension only and only when you really, really need it. And that, I think, makes it a very niche bike. And personally, I think most people are better off with a more conventional full suspension bike. A short travel bike gives you loads of suspension for dealing with rocks and roots, and it's super lightweight, and many have a lockout lever or a firm setting, so when you are riding on the road or you're sprinting, it's not bobbing around too much. But I can definitely see the bike appealing to roadies who want that firm, fast feeling setup. This might be the bike for you. And then we had the Canyon Lux World Cup right behind me. Just arrived for review. This is a bike that Mattia van der Poel races. I can't wait to see if it gives me a bit of what Mattia van der Poel has. I doubt it will do, but I can't wait to ride that bike. And you see a review on the channel very soon. And make sure you subscribe to the channel by hitting the button right here so you don't miss that review coming very soon. Now, I know lots of you aren't really into mountain biking, and if you're not, you probably haven't made it to the deep end of this video. But if you are, let me know by hitting that like button and leaving a comment down below. So hopefully you don't mind a bit of mountain bike content on the channel. And I think with the way that XC racing is going and more top level roadies coming into it, I think we'll see the sport really growing in popularity, both with long time mountain bikers like myself, and also a new breed of roadies and gravel cyclists as well coming into the sport. But that's all for today. Love to hear your thoughts on this video and these bikes and the state of XC mountain bike racing. So thanks for watching. Take it easy out there, and I'll see you again very soon.